Okay, so recording has started. Okay. Okay, so we need to go to the right. So yeah. If you cannot see the slide, let me know, okay? Okay, guys, can you see my slide? I need someone to say yes, because I cannot make sure that all of you can view. Can you see my slide? Okay, good. All right, so if you look into my slide, okay, today's topic is about mask and masking, right? So what is actually mask and masking, okay? Right? So if you look into the photo here, you can see the first photo. This is actually, I think, is the third experiment that we are going to do, where we are going to create a layer mask, okay, using painting technique, where you are going to blend the images, two images here. Basically, we actually is a lion or tiger here. We blend the lion image with the background, which is the oceans. Okay, and then you can see the second image also. You can also have where we have the swimmer here. Okay, we blend this swimmer, okay, with the background. So this is basically what mask can do lah, right? So we call it this topic as a mask and masking. Okay, but before that, okay, I would like to remind you guys that you have to submit your ideation and brainstorming, okay, slide, which is tomorrow, okay, and then next week you are going to submit your presentation recording. Okay, so we are going to end earlier today. So please make sure you finish your slide, okay, for your project ideation, okay, and then prepare for the recording, okay, to be submitted next week, which is next week our class will be back physical lah. Okay, and also you have your practical test 01, which is 20%. Okay, for your information, your practical test 1, okay, will be divided into two parts, which is part A and part 2. Okay, so for part A, basically is we have some objective question, okay, which is related to topic 1 to topic 7. We have you have to refer to your week 1 until week 6, sorry, not week 7. Okay, week 6. Okay, and then we have some image application question. So the question is basically like what you are doing, like something like experiment. So you just follow the question, okay, the instruction, and then you have to produce the output. So the practical test 1 will contribute 20% to your total coursework mark. Right, so please make sure you get ready, and then I will post the detail about your practical test 01 next week. Okay. All right. I think for today we are going to finish like maybe by 6. Okay. Right. If you have any issues, okay, and then you can focus on your slide submission. Okay. And then for your topic, for your practical test 1, okay, the details. All right. I will share by tomorrow. Okay. So that you can get ready for your practical test 1. Okay. All right. So moving on. Do you have any questions so far, guys? Ada soalan tak? About the practical test, about the slide, or maybe anything? Can anyone want to ask something? Ada tak soalan? Anyone of you want to ask question? You guys bila tanya soalan, semua tak ada soalan later. But don't worry guys, tomorrow I'll make it a consultation. Okay, I will share with you your team link for the consultation. Right, from 10 a.m. to maybe we can do until 1 p.m. So if you want to show me your slide, if you are not really sure that you are doing the right thing or not, so please join the session, right? Maybe about one of you, maybe 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, that is not compulsory, but I will just make it open consultation so you can just easily join our class team meeting tomorrow by 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay, for your class. All right. So please take that time, okay, to actually consult, to show me your slide, okay, to do the final preparation lah before you proceed to the presentation. Okay, so moving on. All right, so what we have today is basically mask and masking, right? Okay, you can see that what we're going to have here, we have part 1, okay, and part 2 basically is just like the extra exercises that I want you to master other techniques instead of layer masking. So if you can see, practice number 3 is a technique that you can use. If you don't want to use layer mask, you can also use blend if as part of the technique. Right, and then self practice 1 and 2. Self practice 1 is basically no video for that because I want to test you if you can complete your practice 1, so meaning that you understand about this topic. Okay, All right, so basically for part 2, I will just leave it to you. This is a step-directed learning, so you have to complete it and submit it under the week 6 exercises. Okay, so let's just move on to the introduction to masking. Okay, please, I just need about I think maybe less than 1 hour to finish this topic. So please make sure, guys, because this topic will be included in your practical test as well. So maybe we are not going to test you on advanced, but just maybe basic. How can you do layer masking? Okay. And that one will be like a technical lah. That one is not objective. Okay. We have two part A and part B. Okay. So part B is more to technical lah, where you have to recreate. Okay, using all the technique mentioned. I mean, all the instruction mentioned. Okay, so what is actually mask and masking? Right, so of course, after selection, okay, masking is one of the most important features in Photoshop, which is allow you to isolate areas and an image and selectively manipulate them with great flexibility and utmost control. Okay, and if you can see this, where you can hide objects, okay, and or maybe you want to hide your background areas to allow for other images to show through. Okay, so this is actually why masking is very, very important lah, features in Photoshop. Okay, but again, there is no single correct method or technique used to create masks, as no two images are never alike. So some of you, maybe you don't use layer masking, maybe you use blend if, so it's up to you. Okay, but this is another technique that you need to master. Okay, so far you guys okay or not? Can you hear my voice and can you see the screen? Okay or not? Yes or no? So far okay, eh? All right, thank you, Afan, eh? Yeah, good job. Okay, so moving on. All right, I just make it less than 1 hour. Don't worry, guys. Okay, I know because this is online. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so if you look into this figure, right? So where we have mask and we have image 1 and image 2. So you have to imagine that you have like a hole. You cut a hole in a paper and then you place it on top of an image. And then you will only see the part of the image which was under the hole, right? So basically, this is the concept of the layer masking. Okay. All right. So you have mask. Okay. We have image 1 and image 2, and then image 1 will reveal. Okay. The other parts of reveal image number 2 lah. Okay. We hide area, a certain area in image 1, then it will actually reveal the area of image number 2. So it depends on your selection. Okay. And depends on your output lah. Okay. All right. So for your information, guys, we have 3 types of masks. Okay, so I want you to know what is layer mask. So basically, layer mask is the most technique that you are going to use, okay, which is it's also called as a pixel layer mask, okay. All right, and then we have also, I just go through first, okay, we have second technique or second category of mask where we call it as a vector mask. Okay, you can see my slide. I'm moving on to the vector mask. Okay, these are the second type of mask, which is we call it as a vector mask. And the third one is a layer clipping mask. Okay, so layer clipping mask is just very straightforward lah, where we have the features. You just right click on your layer and then you can just clip. Okay, so there's a lot of technique that you can use, but again, okay, for you to use a layer masking, okay, layer masking is actually a pixel based lah. Okay, where you can only apply. So if you look into my notes here, all right. Okay, so you can be added to any layer type except for the background. Okay, so the purpose of layer mask, okay, to hide the layer, okay, and also to reveal to the layer below lah, okay, and then this is actually is one of the valuable compositing technique where it allow you to combine image and then using the non-destructive technique. So if you remember what is destructive versus non-destructive technique, so please make sure you actually study again, right? Because I will be asking you lah what is actually non-destructive and destructive technique, okay, for your practical test. So this layer masking is one of the non-destructive technique where it will be created a new layer, okay, on top of the layer, right? Okay, the most important thing that you need to know when you use layer masking is that the black conceal and the white reveal. Okay, so this actually, I think when you are using brush, you apply layer masking, you can only use 3 color, which is black, white, and gray. So black, which is conceal, white is basically to reveal. Okay, gray is to actually reveal maybe just about 100%, 50% opacity lah. Okay, I will show you after this. Okay, so without further ado, I'll just go to the experiment number 1. So these are just want to show you Okay, let's say this one, okay? We are creating a layer mask from selection. So in this example, we use a layer mask to compose two images where we have the KLCC and we have the Captain America, where we are going to hide the background of the Captain America and then we are going to reveal the background of the KLCC. Okay, so if you look into my slide here, okay, I will demo after this. Okay, what you need to do is basically you have to arrange the images. Of course, you need to have at least two images so that it can do the layer masking. If you have only one images, of course, you cannot do layer masking. Okay, so you have to place your images, which is in this case is Captain, okay, so that it will be in one document. All right, and then you place your Captain images on top of the KLCC images, and then you add layer mask. So where is the layer mask? So you can see here, okay, in your layer. Okay, after this, I will open my Photoshop and show with you. Okay, so you can see, all right, I make it big. So you can see the rectangle here, the rectangle icon with the circle inside it. So this is what we call layer mask. So if you want to apply layer mask, okay, let's say for example, I want to apply layer mask for the Captain layer. So I just simply go to the below of my layer here. You can see add layer mask. So once you click add layer mask, by default, Photoshop will add a white fill layer mask, which keep the entire layer visible. So let's have a look for this. Okay, if you don't want to do it with me, you can do it later. Okay, you can test later. So first thing, you just listen first. Okay, you can try later on. Okay, but I would prefer you to actually do it together with me supaya you faham lah. Okay. Right, so I'll open my Photoshop. Okay, I'll be sharing with you the experiment number 1. Okay. So guys, are you so far okay or not? Can you hear me? If tak okay, just let me know, okay? Haikal, okay, Haikal? Okay, good. Very good. Okay, so now I'll be open my Photoshop. After this, I will just move to Photoshop. Okay, just give me a few seconds. Okay. Okay. So now it's Nazam here. Okay. Okay, so if you go to your file, right, I provided you with the different folder, which is one is experiment 1, experiment 2, experiment OT. So please make sure you pick the right folder. Okay. And so now I'll be sharing with you my Photoshop. Okay. Okay, so please make sure you open the two file, which is Photoshop and which is the Captain and also the KLCC image. Okay. Okay. So now, I hope that you can see my Photoshop. Okay. So can you guys see my Photoshop? Boleh nampak tak? Sorry, I keep asking you because I want to make sure that you can see my screen. Okay, boleh. Thank you. All right, very good. Okay, so for this one, okay, so what our objective is we want to reveal the background of the KLCC. So first thing first, because I'm not giving you in one file, you have to move your Captain America to the KLCC. So you have to combine the two images. So this one, I think you know the basic thing. I will ask you in the practical test how to move, how to combine. So please make sure you know. Okay, so I'll just simply drag the Captain America, okay, to KLCC document. So now if you can see, please make sure you arrange it nicely, okay, so that your Captain America is placed positioned nicely on your KLCC lah. So now we have two. When you see your layer, my layer here, we have KLCC and we have Captain America. Okay. So what we are going to do first, okay, first thing, the first step that you want to do is basically, I'm not going to apply layer mask yet, okay, right? But I'm going to do the selection first because I don't want to actually layer mask. I just want the background. I don't want to apply layer mask to the Captain America because I only want to reveal the background of the Captain America. Okay. So now, first thing first, okay, I think this one for the selection and make sure you know, okay, I will be using, if you want to use select subject, up to you. So I will be using select subject to select the Captain America, right? And then I will also select inverse because I want to select the background, okay? Like inverse. Okay, so now I'm actually having all the selection. Okay, make sure you have this marching end, right? So your selection is ready. Then once your selection is ready, right? Because we are doing the masking for the background only because we want to reveal the background because we want to keep the captain, the subject, but we want to reveal the other background of which is the KLCC in our case. Okay, so now after you have done with your selection, you have to click on the layer mask. So this is add layer mask. Okay, right? Okay. But now, because I'm doing the selection, right? So now you already add your layer mask. Okay, I already select inverse. Okay, and then you can apply your layer mask here. But we make sure your foreground is black, yeah, guys. Right, and then you click layer mask. But now you can see what happened. Actually, this is wrong lah. Okay, because we want to reveal the background of the KLCC. So what you have to do first? Betul tak? Okay. Okay, what you can do is, which one first? Add layer mask or do the selection first? Okay, so you add layer mask. Okay, so please make sure that you select inverse. We have select inverse just now. Okay, make sure you set your foreground color to black. Okay. By right, it's not supposed to work yet. Okay. I try again. So I select inverse. Okay. And then I apply layer mask. Okay. But I think we have to do the selection first. Sekejap, eh. Because if not, it will reveal the background. Okay. Let me extract, go to history, go back to the first. Okay. So now we have put together the two images. Okay, Captain and America. Okay, so we apply layer mask first. Okay, apply layer mask. Right, and then we try to see what happens if you add before layer mask and after layer mask. Okay, you select the subject. Select subject. Into my Photoshop. Okay, select subject. Okay, and then you select inverse. Okay, and then just now we add layer mask first, then we do section. Okay, then I want to use my brush tool. My brush tool here. So you can just set your brush. Okay, so make sure your foreground is black. Okay, not white. So if you set to white, you cannot reveal the background of the KLCC. Okay, so now I'm going to paint. Okay, so I'm going to paint because I want to reveal the background of the KLCC. Okay, remember just now I'm actually at masking first. Then after that, I do the selection. Okay, so you can see now the KLCC is now revealed. Okay, but what if, let's say, my foreground color now is white? So you cannot actually paint. You cannot reveal the background. So you have to make sure that, okay, you have to make sure that your foreground is black. Okay. Okay, so now we have that. And if you use white, it will actually go back to original. Nampak? Dia akan bagi balik kepada background Captain America. Nampak? So if I use white. So if you change to black, dia akan reveal balik the KLCC punya background. But what if I use grey color? You can only use 3 color when you are using this technique. Okay, I set it to grey. Okay, now when you set to grey, you can see actually it will also reveal, but it's not reveal all. Like 50% of the image. Okay. So you can see here, this is your masking. Okay, I just want to show you. Okay, right. This is your masking. Okay, you can see your layer mask. Okay, I'll go to the layer here, the thumbnail layer here. I alternate and click. So when you press alternate click on your layer mask thumbnail, this is what you get. So when you use gray, you use black, and you use white. So white actually to conceal back. Okay, it's not going to hide. If you use black, it's going to reveal. But this one, it will just use reveal like 50% partial. Okay, So if you want to see how actually layer masking is actually working lah. So I'll just control back on, alternate back, click on my layer masking, and then this is what you get. Okay, so in this case, I'm not going to use black. I'm not going to use white and black. I'm just make sure using the black lah. Okay, here. So I will make sure all, okay, all is all the KLCC image. So you start lah, maybe you can increase your brush size here. Okay, lebih besar so that dia lebih menyeluruh lah. Okay, so this is basically what you get. So you can alternate and see. This is your layer masking. Okay, so about layer masking, how can you actually navigate? How can you operate with your layer masking? So this is how can you view your layer masking? So if you're using Mac, if I'm not mistaken, you have to press Option, click Mac. But if you're using Windows, you just press Alternate and click on the layer thumbnail here, and then it'll go back to the original layer. Okay, so other than that, okay, you can also press Shift. So if you press Shift on your keyboard, okay, your layer masking will be disabled. Okay, so I press Shift, you akan nampak ada red cross, so meaning that your layer masking is disabled. Let's just in case maybe you want to have like a normal view, so you just press Shift. Okay, so your layer masking will be disabled for temporary only. Okay, but if you go back to your layer thumbnail and you click Shift, dia akan ada balik lah, akan available balik. And other than that, you can also unlink and link your layer mask. Okay, so if you can see my cursor here, right, I'm pointing to the link layer here. So you can just simply, all right, unlink. So let's say I click on that. Okay, when you move your layer masking, you're not going to stick. So this is your layer masking. Nampak tak? Like this. But if you link it, but normally, of course, we want to link lah. So when you move, okay, dia akan move together with your masking. So of course, we want it to be linked lah. Kalau you unlink it, nanti dah tak nice lah you punya editing. Okay, of course, we just want by default, we just want it to be linked together. So you can just move around if you link your masking lah, layer mask, okay, with the image. Okay, right. So guys, so far okay or not? Okay, boleh tak? Boleh cuba buat? Okay, so maybe you can do it later. So you want me to move to the next part or you want to try first? What do you think? Just maybe 2 minutes. You nak try sekejap ataupun you nak I move kepada next experiment? What do you think? Please, I need feedback, guys. Arfan? Oh, Arfan. Move to the next experiment. Okay, good. Okay, so now we move to the next experiment. I hope that you guys okay. So that's the basic concept of experiment number 1. How basically I just want to show you how can you add layer mask and then you apply selection and then you can just do it using paint lah. That one is actually considered as a painting technique. Okay, the next experiment is basically, okay, I'll just stop presenting. I just need to go back to the slide. Okay. Okay, so I just sharing the slide again. Okay, the PowerPoint slide. Okay, so if you look into the next experiment is about, okay, this one actually you can all read my slide. Semua ada kat sini, how to disable semua. Okay, please make sure you know lah technically. Okay, so for experiment number 2, what we are going to do is actually we are going to apply gradient mask. We are going to apply layer mask, but we are going to use another technique. First is we are going to apply the gradient tool, using gradient tool to blend the images. And then the second one, we also can apply layer mask to the text. Okay, so how can you apply text, apply texture to your text? Okay, so this is basically what we are going to do. So normally, if you do your poster design or anything, of course, you need to actually blend all the images. So maybe you need to have this technique lah, which is a gradient tool. So because you want to fade certain, maybe the bottom part of the image, so it's up to you. Okay, so basically you can see before and after. Okay, for your information, the image given, the images given to you, I already remove all the background. So we have 5 characters here, main character here. Okay, I already removed the background so that it's easier for us to actually combine lah. Okay, so for this one, okay, I just want to show you one of the technique, okay, just in case if you want to, before this, when we want to load images, we load it one by one. So other technique, other things that you can do to load if your images, if you have like about maybe 10 images, or maybe 20 images that you want to use for your editing, you can just simply not just one by one open and drag, open and drag, open and drag manually, but what you can do, you can just load the images okay, using the file script load file into stack. So you can browse all the images that you need for experiment number 2. So, and then automatically all the images will be loaded into your document. So let us try to do this one. Okay, so first thing first, okay, I will share with you, okay, just straight away. Okay, I'm not going to open the slide lah. Terus buat saja, senang, cepat sikit kita habis. Okay, so for experiment number 1, I will just close it. Okay, can you see my screen? Boleh ya? Guys? You cepat respon, cepat kita boleh habis. My Sarah, okay, good. Alright, so the next one, okay, what we are going to do, we are going to do another technique, which is last time we just open satu-satu. But what if you have 20 images, 30 images, tak kalau you nak open satu-satu kan? So I will just simply go to file, right, and then I go to script, and then I go to load file into stack. So if you have 20 images, senang lah, nanti dia terus automatically Photoshop will load images layer by layer. Okay, so you just simply go to file, load layer, and then you just browse, and then you find your folder for your experiment number 2. So this is experiment number 2. Okay, I just need, I don't need texture. As first, I just make sure you import, you load everything except texture lah. Okay, I just want to have this, right? And then I just click OK. So you just need to wait for a while. Click OK. So you can see your Photoshop is automatically load. Okay, you don't have to open satu-satu and then drag. Tak perlu. So you can just use this technique lah. Okay, if you want to put many images at one time into one document. Okay. Okay, so you need to give time. All right. Okay, so for your experiment 2, basically we have the background, which is the vertical shot road as a background, and then we have image man 1, man 2, girl 1, and girl 2. So basically man, we have 3 lah. Okay, so if you can see these images, okay, let me make it smaller and view extra. I don't want to see the grid. So basically, what you have to arrange, you have to arrange the vertical shot to be at the bottom lah, because this is the background. Okay, so make sure you place your vertical shot road so that it will be at the bottom layer. Right, and then the rest you have to arrange it nicely. So in this case, I'm going to arrange like this. Okay, you can just follow yours, which one you want to be the first main. So this is our main character. So I'm going to place this girl here, and then this boy here, the man, old man here, and then this will be at this side here. So you can Control T, make sure you know how to resize. Guys, at this, takkanlah week 6 tak pandai lagi resize kan. Control T is the shortcut key for you to resize. So I'll just make it like this size. Okay, this man, I will also make it, position it here. So I want to position this old man here, and then this girl 1, I'll just keep it here first because this is the main one. Again, this girl 1, I will also resize it. Okay, make it here first. Okay, and then we'll do to one by one lah. Okay. Okay, so this one, the old man here, I'll just keep it here first. Okay. Man here, I will just put it down. And then this one, maybe I need to have a bigger size. Okay. Like this. So you can arrange. Okay, so what first thing first, we are going to apply the same technique, okay, which is layer masking with gradient tool. Okay, so we are going to do for the girl, the long hair. Okay, the girl one first, this one. So you have to position where you want to position, right? So let's say I'm going to blend. Okay, what we are going to do, we are going to blend the bottom part here, supaya dia tak nampak obvious lah. So we are going to blend with the background. Okay, so first thing first, you have to remember, okay, apply layer mask lah. Okay, so in this case, you tak payah remove background all because it has been removed. Okay, so I will just apply layer mask on girl layer 2. So but just now, kita pakai brush. But this time around, I'm going to use gradient tool. Okay, you can see your gradient tool here, right, guys? Okay, so you click on your gradient tool. So once you click on your gradient tool, you will have all the menu for your gradient. So maybe your interface will be slightly different with me. I'm not sure, but mine, if when I click on here, I will just simply, I click on the drop down button here, I will simply have my foreground to background. So for this gradient method technique, I will select foreground to background. Okay, but maybe yours, you have to take basic, I think, so that you can find your foreground to transparent. So you have to click here, maybe you have to another option, but mine is already there. Okay, if you are doing with me, some of you, maybe you couldn't find your foreground to transparent. Some of you having difficulties finding your foreground to transparent. But you have to actually go to basic and then you have to find for foreground and transparent. So you cuba explore sikit lah. Okay, so make sure you set to foreground and transparent and make sure your foreground color is black kat sini. Make sure you punya color foreground ni adalah warna hitam, okay, black color. So I'm just using, so if you use gradient tool, you can see that you have 5 types of gradients. So this is linear, you can point your arrow here. So this is linear gradient, this is radial, this is angle, this is reflected, this is diamond. So in this case, I'm going to just use linear gradient, okay. So once we are done, okay, we also already apply layer mask. Okay, make sure your layer white thumbnail is already there. So meaning that your object is ready to apply layer mask. Okay, so you just simply put your gradient tool. Okay, make sure you set to foreground and then the foreground is black and then I set to linear. So you can just simply put your cursor at the area that you want to blend. So in our case now, kita nak blendkan the top bottom part here with the background. So you just simply move like that. Okay, or I'll just put like this. I just want it to be like this. So it's not obvious like you cut lah. Cantik sikit dia blend dengan object. So you can see now my girl long hair, the girl number 1, I dah blendkan dia. So this is your layer mask. Okay, right? So you can repeat the same technique. Okay, this is what we call layer mask using gradient tool lah. Sebab you pakai dengan gradient tool. So you can position nicely and then you move to the next one. Sama juga man 2, I will apply layer mask. Okay, I'll just change because I just keep using the same setting. Okay, and then I will just simply move my cursor and then set lah. Okay, so that is blend to the background. Okay, so I'll just put it here. Okay. And then the next man, the one is the old man here. So I will just make sure you position the old man is actually on top of the girl because we want it to be appear in front of the girl number 2, number 1. Okay, so you just simply apply layer mask. Okay, right, and then you just simply use your gradient tool and then you can just move. Okay, so it depends on you lah how you want it to be the final outlook. Okay, and then the same goes to the man number 3. Okay. Right, so that baru cantik lah nampak arrangement. This one also I will add layer mask and then I will apply blend gradient tool. Okay, and then the last one is girl number, the main character. So I will just place it here and also you have to move so that your girl will be on top of the layer so that it will be in front of the other character. Okay. Maybe this one we have to make it smaller. Okay, range. Okay, so this is how it look lah. Okay, we are using gradient tool. So this one we are going to apply the same thing, layer mask. Okay, and then we apply gradient tool. Here, I don't change the setting because just now tadi I dah buat. Okay, if you want to do like something like here, I just want to be half of the body here. Okay, maybe we need this. Okay, something like that. Okay, so this is basically what you can do lah. Okay. Okay or not, guys, so far? Okay? Boleh ya? Eric? Okay. So now, this is what we get. Okay? Belum habis lagi ya. So you nampak I ada apply layer masking for all the layer. Okay? Right. So next one, you can also apply actually layer mask to not only images. So just now kita apply layer mask kepada image, but the second things that we can do, we can also apply layer mask to a shape. So let's, for example lah, you added one rectangle shapes here because you want to add text, right? So we add, just use rectangle, okay, rectangle tools, okay, and then I change, maybe I want to use white color, maybe yellow, okay, then I just make it like no stroke, okay, no stroke. So I just draw it here because I want to add like a text lah. So now this is my shapes. So you not only can apply to images, you can also apply gradient tool, you can also apply layer mask to your shape. So I'll place it like here, macam ni. Okay, depends lah macam mana. This one just a sample. Okay, and then you can also add to your rectangle layer mask here. Then you can also apply gradient tool. So let's say for example, you want to blend the top part. Okay, ke atas ni. So dia nampak cantik. Okay, you can just depends. It depends on your gradient, how you actually drag your gradient tools. Okay, so in this case, I do like this. Kalau I buat tengah sikit, dia akan jadi blend teruk lah. Okay, banyak sikit. Okay, so this is basically what I have. Okay, Right, so this is for shape. And then the last one, you can also add text, okay, and apply a pattern to your text using layer masking. So let's say, for example, assume that we have text here. So I'm adding text, okay. Oh, it's too big. So let's say, for example, I have Emily here. Okay, you can just use any font. This is just for experiment. I'm using FontSprint demo, okay, for the typeface. So I'll using, okay, this one you can just type lah, okay. Right, so I put the maybe place here. Okay. Right, so I want to apply texture. So in this, yeah, I'm giving you texture. You tengok dalam folder experiment ada satu texture. So you set, okay, let's say for example, I set Emily text to maybe white. Okay, up to you lah what color. Right. Here, maybe, or here. Okay. And then I will apply texture. So in order for you to apply texture, you have to place your texture first lah. So I will just go to file, place embedded, because I want straight away my texture to be placed on the document. Okay, so you can see now my texture is there. Okay, so you have to resize your texture because we are going to texture this one. Okay, we are going to blend, apply texture to the text here. So I place my texture below the Emily text here. Okay, all right. So done. So this is basically what you have so far. We have Emily text and we have texture. So we are going to apply layer mask. Okay, we want to put the texture into the Emily text. Lah, okay. Right, so how can you place your texture? So once you have placed your texture, okay, you can just simply go to your layer text here. Emily text, so we have to select pixel first. Okay, if you remember when you're doing your postcard lesson in week 1, I guess, week 2, we select pixel. Okay, you have to right click, not right click here, you have to right click on the thumbnail. T, yeah, you can see right click on the T thumbnail there, you can have your select pixel. I repeat, I'm not selecting here, you have to select at your layer thumbnail, right click, there you have select pixel. Okay, so this is basically what you have. Okay, the Emily. Okay, right click, select pixel. Then you have to move your texture above the layer text, the text layer. So now your texture is below the Emily text. I will going to move texture so that it will be on top of the Emily. Now I will apply layer mask to texture layer. So this is what you get. So you can see here, your texture is now mapped to your text. Okay, so now of course, maybe you need some other editing to make your text more outstanding. In this case, I will apply blending option to the text. Okay, you can have your layer style. You can just simply right click on the Emily text and you have your blending options. Okay, so this is the place where you can apply layer style to your layer, all the layer. Okay, so I'm going to make my text more outstanding. So I'm going to increase to put the glow setting here so that it will be, maybe we need some yellow or white. So up to you, maybe yellow. Okay, right. And also I'm going to add stroke to my Emily text. So you can also adjust the size, okay, and the opacity, the color, okay, and so on. Okay, so this is what you have. So that is for experiment number 2. Okay, are you guys okay so far? I hope you guys okay, eh? My Sarah, okay? Okay? Any questions so far? Okay je. Ke tak buat lagi? Okay, so last one. I'll just move on. Later you can try. Okay? Alright, so for experiment 2, make sure you know that one lah. Okay, because we do very subtopic, so that I want you to understand, okay, all the technique. Apa teknik yang you boleh pakai lah. Okay, so number 3, okay, the number 3, I'll just simply do a quick demo dulu before we go to experiment number 3. Okay, just want to recap balik, okay, what you can do with create a layer mask using painting technique. So like what we did in experiment number 2, we actually use a painting technique to paint, to reveal the background, okay, and then we are going to do the same thing for experiment number 3. But before we proceed to experiment number 3, I just want to have a quick demo. Like say for example, you want to Okay, sorry, I have to open back. Okay, so enough. Okay, experiment number 2, I'll just close it and I just want to open file name. You can see in my folder, okay, experiment number 3, we have wash cloud. Okay, this is like, say you want to do like a wash advertisement. Okay, oh, it's already done. Okay, I'll just need to remove back all the layer masking. Okay, delete layer mask. Okay, so that's how you can delete, because this one I did for the previous class. So you can just simply delete your layer mask. If you don't want, you can just simply right click and delete layer mask, and then your layer will be back to original. So this is where we have two images. We have the cloud and we have the watch, where we want to blend the background of the watch with the cloud background. Okay, so same thing, this one I just want to repeat. Okay, we are going to apply layer mask. Okay, and then we select subject. Okay, select subject, and then we select inverse. This is the same thing that we did for experiment number 1. Okay, and then I'm going to select inverse. Okay, now you can just use your brush. Okay, your brush here, make sure your foreground is black, and then you can start to paint. Make sure it's not too big. Okay, not too small. Okay, so you can start. This is too small, maybe 500 is good. Okay, just a bit. Okay, here, then you can start to paint. So I'm using black to reveal 100% of the image. So if you back to white, it will actually go back to original. Okay, so that's how it's work. Okay, then if you paint with gray, if you go to gray color here, you just only reveal partial. So you can see the color here. So berbeza lah. Okay, boleh tengok you punya layer. So this is how it looks. But we just want to paint it with all with the black, because we want to reveal the background. So this is the concept lah in layer masking. So I'm going to paint it. Okay, this is basically lah layer masking. Okay, right? So you can try. Okay, now I just move on to the experiment number 3. This is just want to refresh back, just in case some of you just maybe missed this one. Okay, all right. So the next one, okay, I'm going to do the experiment number 3, where we are going to blend the two images using painting techniques. So I'll just close this one. Okay, I will just go to file for experiment number 3. Open your file, experiment number 3, where we have ocean and lion here. So if you can see here, the ocean and lion is where we have totally different color. Okay, but of course you need to blend first, and then you have to adjust the color. Okay, you have to apply some adjustment to the lion color, because we want lion to actually blend with the ocean. So in this case, same thing. Okay, we are going to drag dulu lah. Okay, use your move tool. So you can drag, okay, so that your layer will be your tiger, your lion lion ke apa ni? Okay, tiger or lion. Okay, so that it will be on the same layer. Okay. So view, I don't want to see view extra, so just Control T. Okay, I just make it bigger. Okay, your layer, so you arrange lah macam mana you want it to be looks like. So in this case, I'll just make it big like this, and then I nak dia sengit sikit lah, like this. So I just rotate this sikit, so like this. Okay, then once you position it, this is what you want. Okay, you can simply start your painting. You can start painting the lion by apply layer mask. So the same thing, I apply layer mask, then I will just paint using brush. So you can start painting and then reveal the background of the ocean. Okay, right. Okay, like this. Okay, and then you have to select maybe the head part only. Okay, this also the body also I don't want. I just want to have the face part only. Okay. So now once you are done, okay, we have to, takkanlah we want to leave it like this kan? So cannot lah. So you have to apply the adjustment. So remember last 2 week we learned about adjustment. So how can you actually fix the lion so that you can get the same like ocean punya color. So first thing first, you have to match the color of your ocean. Okay, so you have to match the color of the lion with the ocean. So we are going to play around with the hue and saturation. So Okay, again, okay, I'll just simply go to the adjustment. If you remember last time you learned about adjustment, so I will just go to hue and saturation. Okay, hue and saturation. So before you apply this, okay, I want you to take attention. Okay, I want to apply to the tiger layer only. So I have to make sure that, okay, you clip the layer. Okay, because if you change this, it will change all the background and together with the lion. We just want to apply this to the layer lion. So I have to clip this first. Okay, you tengok betul-betul lah. This is the clip adjustment effect where you can only apply to the layer below only. Okay, which is in our case is lion. So I clip this adjustment. So you can see your layer now, the hue and saturation is clipped to lion, layer lion. So now I can start changing. So I will just tick on colorize. Okay, tick on colorize, and then I will just change the value. This one you have to play around, test what value you want to put. So I just put 196, and the saturation I just put 17, and then the lightness I just keep by default 0. So now you can see that if you actually hide your adjustment layer hue just now, okay, this is what you get lah. This is what we call non-destructive. So now I still not okay with this. I'm going to apply some brightness, change the brightness of the contrast of the lion. Okay, so I'm going to apply new adjustment, brightness and contrast. So I'll just apply clip because I want to apply to lion layer only. I will adjust the brightness to -10, and this one is going to be -20. Okay, right. So this is what I get. So you cannot see the difference when you tick. You nampak ada beza sikit. Okay, right. So this is what I want. Okay, right. So next I will change the overall hue and saturation for the whole image. Okay, this one is the final one lah. Nampak macam dah ada blend sikit. So I will just add more for hue and saturation. But this time around I want to apply to all. Okay, so I will just apply hue and saturations. Hue is I just change it to saturation to 35, lightness is just 0. So this I click. Okay. Okay. So this is basically what the final outlook will be. So the third adjustment is not applied to lion only, but the whole background as well. So you can see perbezaan dia. Kalau you tak clip, dia hanya apply kepada, if you clip, you only apply to the layer below, but just now I didn't click layer clip. Okay, so it will apply to all. Okay, guys, so this is for experiment number 3. Guys, are you with me? So far, okay or not? I'll share with you the recording after this. Okay, good. Okay, so now that's all about we have finished about layer mask. So far we have 3. We have do experiment with 3 techniques. The first one where you use selection and then you apply layer mask. The second one we apply layer mask to using gradient tool. We apply layer mask using gradient tool to your shapes and also to your text. Okay. All right. So let's get back to your slide. Okay. So now this is what we have done so far. Okay. Okay. Can you see my slide? Boleh nampak ke? Can you see my slide? Boleh. Okay, thank you Arfan. Lepas ni boleh claim dengan saya. Aktif during online class. Okay, claim lunch next week. Okay. Right, so we have covered all experiment number 3. Okay, and so on. This one you can see we have all. Kalau you tak tengok video pun, you boleh buat lah. Very simple. Okay, we go to the second one. Okay, mask type. Okay, this one I have to go back to the slide lah. Okay, the second is actually vector mask. Okay, for this one, maybe I will cover tomorrow lah. I mean next week. Okay, it's very short one. But if you want to apply vector mask, is different. Vector mask is a mask that use shapes. Okay, where you can play around with the custom shape tool to hide the content of the layer. Okay, because it uses shapes, path, and shape layer as the masking object. The result is cleaner and more easily manipulated than a pixel base, which traditional is painted using brushes. But if you compare layer mask and also vector mask, vector mask will be more precise lah because it's using path and vector mask. But most of the time you just use layer mask lah. Okay. So if you want to apply vector mask, is different. Okay, you can try this. We cannot just simply directly apply to your layer mask, but you have to go to your menu. Where we have vector mask. So you have to reveal all. When you click reveal all, you can see that you have the white thumbnail. Okay. Because vector mask is different lah. Okay, you have to go to your menu layer and then you have to select vector mask, reveal all until you get your white thumbnail, and then you can apply your vector mask. So it depends on your editing lah, what kind of thing that you want to apply as a vector mask. So you can integrate, you can do together with your pen tool. So this one I will cover when we have a next topic, which is pen and brush tool. So I will cover vector mask. So for this one, you can just leave it first. I will do some demo to you with you. Okay, on this vector mask punya category lah. Okay, type of mask. So basically this is how it look lah. So where you can have normally when you play around with the vector mask, you can also adjust the feeder and density. Okay, this one I will cover more on the brush topic. So for as for now, I'll just skip first. Okay, just for information, and you can see the comparison between layer and versus vector mask. Okay, layer mask where you create a layer mask as a composed of pixel. Okay, and then it's based on the pixel, not shapes, and then you paint or white on the layer mask to make area visible, black to make them invisible, and then you allow filter to maybe use that. Not only filter, you can also apply adjustment. But if you are using vector mask, it's composed of shape. Okay, it's actually one of the things that makes vector graphic unique and useful is that they can be scaled infinitely without reducing the quality of the shapes. Okay, and then you can also use based on the pen path and shapes. Okay, and then you can alter at any time, revealing different part of the image and use feathering as in the properties window. Okay, so like this. So we have feathering and we have density. Okay, again, I repeat this topic, subtopic, I will put more experiment for vector mask. Okay, all right. Okay, so the third one is a layer clipping mask. It's very simple. You can just simply combine by clicking on right click on layer and then you can find clipping mask. Okay, so clipping mask is actually a group of layers to which a mask is applied. Okay, so you can see here in this case we are going to clip this baby to the frame here to fit the photo nicely within the frame. Okay, so we are going to clip the photo. Okay, so you can see here I have the photo frame clip.psd. Okay, let us try to do this. Okay, right. So let me share my screen in Photoshop. Okay, so you need your image here, photo. Okay, so you have to go to photo clip is outside of the folder experiment. Okay, photo frame clip. All right, so this is what we have. We have baby because it's actually on height. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to view. Okay, sekejap layer. So we have your baby here. So we want to clip the baby here. So actually you can also use masking, but if you don't want to use layer mask, you can just use clip mask. Okay, right. So how can you use this? You have to actually select the area that you want to mask first. So in this case, you have to select the black area here, and then you have to make a copy and make a new layer. So I'll just use quick selection tool. Use a quick selection tool to select the black area here. Okay, so I just Ctrl J. So now this is my frame lah. Okay, the black area that I want to clip is the baby, so that I want the baby to fit on the black area lah, the black frame. Okay, so next I will actually create a clipping mask. So how you want to clip? You have to make sure that your baby, okay, is actually on top of the black layer, the area that you have selected just now. Then I just simply go to baby layer here, and then I just right click, and then you create clipping mask. Okay, you nampak create clipping mask. So now your baby is clipped to the black area, but now the baby size is too big. You can Ctrl T to resize so that you can see the baby face inside of the frame. Okay, you can just resize it because the size is too big. Or maybe you can crop first lah at first. Okay, that's how it can be too. So you can resize it. So this is what we can do. So it's different. Just now kita pakai layer mask, tapi this time around we just simply go to your clipping mask. So if you don't want to have this clipping, you can just release back. Okay, right? So that's how it works. So that is for you lah to try. Okay, so I think we have done with all the experiment, and now it's for you to practice, and then you can just do it offline. But I just want to remind you that what you have to do. Okay, wake up guys, those who are sleeping or whatnot, make sure you bangun balik. Okay, now is the time for you to practice. If you are not doing this, you cannot do your practical tests. Okay, please take this seriously guys. Okay, I repeat, tolong bangun siapa yang tidur tu. I want to brief on what you have to do. Can you see my slide, guys? Boleh nampak slide I? Can someone say something? I cannot hear voice. Boleh. Okay, thank you. Suara semua mana? You don't have microphone guys? If I ask you to turn on your... bagus. Seorang-seorang ni, if I ask you to turn on camera, tapi I don't want lah. Okay, I trust on you. Okay, so what you have to do now, kita akan buat offline. I tak nak continue sampai pukul 7. Okay, but if you have any problem, you can roger me in the WhatsApp group. Okay, or tomorrow I will do another consultation. So if you have any problem, you can join tomorrow pukul 10 sampai pukul 1 PM. Okay, that is not only for if you have question related to your class practice, but I want you to maybe have problem for your slide. If you rasa tak confident, you nak tunjuk saya dulu, you boleh masuk team tomorrow. I will share the link. Okay, so for your class practice, okay, what you have to do. Okay, ini I sengaja tak ada bagi video sebab I nak tengok you boleh buat tak. Okay, so this is the watch advertisement before and after. So I want you to follow instruction number 1 sampai 5. You boleh buat tak? Ini semua kita dah sama je konsep, cuma kita tukar je arahan. Okay, what the output will be different lah. So make sure you know how to blend using gradient layer mask. So this means that you're going to use gradient tool and then you apply layer mask. Fade away the bottom of the clock face and blah blah blah. Load the selection. You just follow the instruction. Okay, load selection is how can you load selection? You have to go to selection. You can just simply go to your find out macam mana nak buat. So I nak tengok you boleh buat tak. Okay. Oh, sekejap Okay, so the next one, where is my slide? Okay, this is practice number 1. So basically this is what you're going to do. You akan dapat. Okay, kalau you tak nak load selection pun, you boleh buat selection you sendiri. Kalau you tak jumpa macam mana nak load, you buat selection you sendiri untuk remove the background. Okay, you boleh baca soalan tu carefully. This is one of the question from the Adobe certified question. So you have to do this step so that you get this. If you salah, you tak dapat markah. Okay. So number 2 is actually a fine tune layer. Mine is more detailed. So this one I tak ada masalah. This is just taken from Adobe. You just follow the video and then you just save your file. And number 3 is I want you to learn the art of blending images using blend if. So there is another technique. If you want to use, you don't want to use layer mask, you can use blend if technique. But I not prefer to use this technique. But okay, if you want to still use this, okay lah, just for your information. Okay, so that we have different types of methods. Okay. Alright, so once you finish, submit this, practice number 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and one more thing I would like to remind you, make sure you read all the review questions at the end of the topic. So if you go to our topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, there are the section yang nama dia review question. Kat sini, these are the tips lah. Make sure you study this also. Okay, because I will ask you maybe in your objective question. Okay, so that's all for today. That's what you have to do. Continue with your practice. Okay, ada soalan tak? Can any one of you turn on your camera? I want to see faces. But tadi I tak nampak orang ni. Turn on your camera. Now, everyone. Turn your camera. Siapa nak turn on camera? Bagus. Thank you Arfan. Bagi 10. Minggu depan dia first person yang turn on camera minggu depan dapat RM10 Arfan. Bagus. I suka. Li Wengkang. Azmat Isyad. Dekat mana? Allah, siannya. Dekat fakulti ya.
Dekat LP, Miss. LP.
Okay, LP. Okay. Alah, shy pula, jangan shy. Okay, nanti Arfan minggu depan dapat RM10 untuk you punya lunch.
Okay. Boleh.
Okay, thank you everyone. I hope that you guys boleh dapat tak tadi? What do you think? Susah tak that topic mask and masking? Nampak senang ke susah?
Sikit lah.
Nampak macam boleh buat kan sebelah tu siapa? Bagus, dia duduk satu geng. Best online class sebenarnya. I dah 2 tahun buat online class, nak termuntah rasa. 2 tahun COVID hari tu kan. You guys dah tak ada online. Tapi this time kita make it online today. I just want to clarify why we do online today because of my Monday class I do online lah. So I want to be fair. Sebab the convo. By right today tak payah online pun. Okay, tapi tak apa. I want to give you time so that you boleh continue you punya slide. Okay? Alright, so guys, thank you. So you boleh cuba buat you punya class practice dulu. Kalau ada masalah, tomorrow you join the consultation. Boleh? Itu sebab I terpaksa trust you. Kalau you tak buat, you takkan boleh. So this is based on my trust. Kalau you tipu, you kata dah buat, you akan tak boleh berjaya punya. Percayalah cakap saya. Saya dah 20 tahun dah mengajar. Okay? So make sure you buat the exercise. Okay? And then tomorrow pukul 10, siapa nak consult you punya slide? Jangan tak bangun pula. Tomorrow ada kelas tak?
Tak ada.
Tak ada. Consultation must be tomorrow lah. Tomorrow is the last day. You dah nak kena submit kan next week? Presentation. Maisarah. Kalau tak nak tomorrow, you bagi tahu saya bila. Today boleh? You nak buat hari ni boleh? Boleh stay back. Siapa nak tunjuk lepas ni boleh stay back. Sebab tapi I nak you fokus you punya practice dulu. So if you want to stay here, you nak tunjuk pun boleh. Siapa nak buat hari ni, stay back. The rest, siapa yang tak siap lagi, besok pukul 10 sampai 1. Nanti I share dalam WhatsApp. Okay? Arfan dah siap belum slide?
Dah nak siap dah.
Okay, bagus. Okay, itu kita nak. Okay, Haikal? Haikal macam mana? Belum siap lagi. Tolong buat. So hari ni online you balik tak ada nak kena tu balik malam apa semua. Tolonglah. Guys, tolonglah fokus. Okay, I nak you rasa benda ni penting. You nak dapat A, you kena ada sikap berusaha. Okay, because dekat universiti tak ada orang yang akan push you. Tak ada orang yang akan, dah siap ke? Belum, tak ada. Kalau dapat I jenis ingat kan, okay lah. Okay, so tolong push diri you untuk hasilkan sesuatu yang bagus lah. Because Photoshop is something that you have to learn, bukan during kelas saja. Dia adalah praktis. Ada banyak cara teknik yang I pun tak boleh bagi you spesifik teknik. Mungkin you ada you punya teknik sendiri. Tapi basic tu you ada. At least kita equip you dengan basic and the rest you boleh explore. You nak pakai teknik apa tu terpulang lah. Because when you do manipulation, it's very hard actually. You have to actually think about the idea. Bukan senang. Okay? Right? So, those who want to consult today, Maisarah, siapa lagi nak consult today boleh stay lah. The rest of you, I wish you all the best. Tomorrow kalau nak to consult you punya project, punya slide, pukul 10. And also if you want to ask me question pun esok juga. Kalau you ada because I ganti balik lah because today kita habis awal kan. So tomorrow we ganti another 3 hours lah for consultation. Okay? Alright? Is that okay for you guys? Okay. So now I will just stop sharing. Okay. And then I will just stop recording. Okay, dulu. And then I will be sharing with you nanti. Stop recording. Bebe tadi tak stop recording